We
It's
could
just
deal
gonna
with
exit
them.
you out.
Yeah, man, we could deal with them, but we didn't grow up a little bit, man. We like a little older now, just a little bit, a little older. We a little.
Marcus
Yeah,
is
I think
12
I'm
years
supposed to be.
older than
I think I'm the oldest person on here.
Man, I know, man, but I'm just saying the growth of the podcast. We didn't grow up a little bit, man. We try to.
Marcus a fool with it.
The marks will break the whole consistency of the thing. We be in there just laughing the whole time, like we some kids. Even though J.Jones didn't want Dmarques back, so
I
uh,
definitely said he couldn't come back.
he definitely didn't want you back for real. Like we really talked about this, like legit, like multiple weeks in a row. So, uh, so y'all good?
Good, man. Good.
All right, man. So, welcome back to the Be Alive podcast. It's your boy K.Sloan here with my dog.
Hey, John.
Hey Jones,
Hey,
man.
G.
Hey, we got two frequent flyers, returning faces, OGs of the podcast. Let them go ahead and reintroduce themselves to our people.
Your boy Nate G. Appreciate you having me, man.
Appreciate you.
I haven't redeemed all my freaking flyer miles, so I'm back again.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you being back, Dmarques, man. He said he gonna be on his best behavior, J. Jones. That's what he said. That's what How you feeling, Doc?
Me?
Yeah,
I'm
man.
good. I'm good. Blessed and highly favored.
Listen, highly favored. Man, MLK Day done passed, so I thought about that a little bit, a little reflecting on a good, strong black brother, that did a lot for us, paved the way. I thought about that. I was reflecting about that the other day. Today, Kobe lost Kobe today.
Year ago.
Year
Man,
ago.
Sheesh.
Year ago. That's crazy, man. I know Vanessa had some long posts I saw on Instagram, and I was like, man, I almost started tearing up, bro. I
Bad
like
story.
sad story. But God got a plan.
Oh yeah. Coach
always.
Terry probably say keep it moving. You know how it go.
Facts. That's facts. But what y'all got going on these days, man?
Work, man. Working, dodging this virus, bro. That's it. Y'all better be wearing y'all mask out there trying to stay safe, too.
Man, bro, trying to, bro, trying to, man. It's wild out here. Like my daughter, I be she the one I be worried about. 'Cause, the kids, they be, they don't think nothing about it. They be like, nah, you can't,
Man,
not yet. It ain't gone yet.
not yet.
It ain't
Far
gone
from
yet.
it, man.
For real. Marcus, what you got going on, man?
We had COVID in our house, but I'm negative.
Word.
Yes. It's
Man.
y'all gonna hear me cough a couple times. It's different, man. Like to watch somebody go through it and have to go through the symptoms and stuff. And we had nothing really elaborate, but my son Brent, for y'all who know him, skin and bones, but real testing time when your son be like, I can't breathe. Like, wait, you can't what? So yeah, he went through that stage. We had some flu-like symptoms, body aches, whole nine. When they say take 2 weeks, it took about 10, 11 days. So
Yeah.
it's,
Thank God he good though. Everybody's still good and upright, man. That's the
Yeah,
blessing.
man.
That's the blessing in it because they don't really even know. Are y'all doing the vaccine thing? Is that y'all like? Are
Mm.
y'all doing the vac? Y'all ain't
You
doing
get
the
into the real questions early.
So I want to
Mm.
be like the 15th wave of the vaccine. If there is 15 waves of vaccine before me, I might take it. I need
I'm
to
gonna
see.
say it like this. I got a client that is a pharmacist and she's been mixing the vaccine. She told me she ain't taking it yet, so I ain't taking it till she do.
Fair
uh,
enough.
my girlfriend used to be a pharmacy tech. She said, to actually get a bona fide vaccine, it takes like 3, 4, 5 years to actually get it to where it should be considered a vaccine that should be shareable. But they got it in less than a year, and then they told us it was 90% done, and then next thing you know, they had another brand. I was like, okay.
Yeah, bro. I mean, this nation's history with vaccinations is less than stellar. So a little less than stellar. So I'm a hold off. Education, I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to force it on us pretty soon here because the educators got to be there for the kids and things like that. They got a lot of concerns at home, and we at school right now. So but I'm
So
kind of
glad I
thinking.
teach online.
Say what?
I'm so glad I teach online.
I
Man,
mean, I do too. I do too. But right now we converting because we're in the classroom and we're teaching the kids online from the classroom. So
mm,
we'll bring the kids back. We'll bring them back February 1st, and then start to have them in the classroom. Have about 5 to 4 kids spaced out, keep their desk, walking down the hallway in the same direction, and trying to see if we can effectively do what nobody knows if anybody can do yet. So it's coming.
that's that's better than stuff I've heard from other teachers in different districts. That's all I'll say. I don't want to throw nobody under the bus, but
Don't say the district. Don't say the district. But how wide are they getting? Like, what they got going on?
I know from very personal account that there's way too many kids in these classes. There's no social distancing going on. So, I mean, it hasn't been that bad. I will say that, as the caveat to it. It hasn't really been that bad, but at the same time, you never really know. So,
Nope. Never really know. So I'm I don't know, man. I just like J.Jones said, I'm gonna have to be like the 16, 17 wave of that thing. Cause I know people be online, they be just got my vaccine. I'll be like, man, that's good. Like I'm gonna go ahead and keep an eye on you and see how that kind of works out. Like,
Yeah.
let me see if you keep posting for the next month.
let's see if you keep posting. Cause I know you're gonna have to go for a couple rounds now. It ain't just one. It ain't just one. But
They never told us it was 100% or foolproof or anything. So that's kind of disheartening too. Like they never really was like, this is it. We got you.
nah.
Yeah. Well, you can't know. That's like you said, it takes 4 to 5 years. You can't know because you can't do a for real study on it yet. We can't even have an idea. You have no idea what's going to happen a year after the vaccine right now. You know?
Heck no.
I
Mhm.
don't know. I know no matter how this all works out, I mean, we got to be, in the right mental space. And then thinking about that, I wanted to go ahead and jump at these topics because Dmarques got some stuff he wanted to share. So Dmarques, go ahead and touch on what we done talked about a little bit in, what I'm saying, the group a little bit. What you got for us?
The question I posed to everybody, and everybody kind of jumped on it. I think everybody was kind of ready to get to it, but it is, what does masculinity mean? How is it achieved? Signs of masculinity on display. Are you a man? How do you know you're a man? And at the last part, this all the beginner describe your transition from a boy to a man.
Mm.
So first, I would just like everybody take their turn and be like, what does masculinity mean to you?
So, and I'll take that. To me, masculinity, it means to be comfortable within your own skin and truly love, um, relentlessly. Loving in all ways, like really showing what straightforward. You gotta be straightforward. You gotta be honest. You want to be righteous. You want to be true to yourself. To me, that's what I identify with when we talk about masculinity. When the first thing I think of is like righteous.
Mm.
Was you truly you, and you're being that. And I don't put anything else on that. And I think a lot of times you get that. What's hot right now is the toxic masculinity. Everybody kind of addresses that a lot of times because of the different identifications that are going around now as regards to people being able to see themselves in different lights no matter what they are born as. But I think as a man, you should be able to be a man. Like masculine, your masculine should be your true self. Like that's my opinion on that when you say that. But I'll let y'all touch on that a little bit.
I think that's a good way to say it, man, is be your true self. Because if we look at the definition of masculinity, it's pretty vague, bro. Honestly, the way that we define masculinity is kind of just a social construct, I think, right? In the sense of when we talk about humans, we're saying a man is going to be what, like more muscular, more aggressive, different things like that, which can be traits of masculinity. But where a lot of times when I think about human nature, I think about animal nature as well, right? And in the animal kingdom, it's the exact opposite, actually, right? Women are the hunters, women are the aggressors and the protectors and things like that, right? So I don't know if it's necessarily always those things. I think that it's truly, like you said, just being honest with yourself, bro. Be honest about what you are. And I don't really love the term alpha and beta. I think that kind of gets used a little bit too much.
Yeah, it
But I
does.
think that's really what masculine and feminine are talking about, right? Maybe it's a alpha beta, maybe it's a more logical, emotional approach, however you want to look at it. We start attributing different characteristics, but I mean, we know for that matter, I would say my mom is very masculine, right? I ain't
Mm.
never had a question that she was a woman, right? I know that's my mom's. I never had any question like that. But when we talk about characteristics, she's one of the more masculine people I know. My father as well. But I think it can be both of those, right? So it's really just up to the person. It's up to what you want to make it.
Yeah. Masculine to me, probably one of my favorite words too. Definition for me, well, one part of the definition is respect. Um, the respect you give and the respect you get. To me, it's like see a masculine person. Usually like Nate said, man or woman, male or female, they usually get respect, but they also
Mhm.
usually give respect. So to me, I mean, like I say, respect is really one of my favorite words because you usually don't have any problems when you give respect and you get respect. You kind of just, you know, you there, people around you, y'all having fun, y'all doing y'all thing. So to kind of continue what y'all were saying too. I mean, I agree with everything what y'all was saying, but I just wanted to add. I think respect would be a big part of being masculine. Come on.
I agree with that. I agree.
When you say respect and being masculine, can you elaborate on that? What are they respecting? What are you respecting as far as the masculine perspective?
Like a man of my word. Just kind of like they said, honesty, being myself, just having respect for myself and others. Kind of sort of. It's just meaning what I say. Not really taking stuff from people. I mean, as long as you don't put your hands on me, it's cool. But just words don't really mean much. Just having respect. People seeing you and like, man, that's a good dude. That's a respectful dude. Nice dude. Treats everybody good. Just all around respect, I should say. Just all around respect.
And then I want to add to that real quick. Like to me, when you talking about that respect, I think it's important for someone that's identifying themselves. Like you're saying, like, okay, we talk about masculinity that's good, right? It's seeing it's when I can see a man across from me, he has a thought, and I respect his thought, even though I don't agree with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's masculinity at its core to me. It's like I can say like we in the room together and you doing something that's not right to me and I can speak my mind to you, but I still respect you enough to not call you out your name. I respect you enough not to do something behind your back that's something that can't be respected and things like that. Like we have to be able to move within that code. I think men and we talking about it's not just men like Nate said, it could be a woman with masculine qualities, and it could also be men with feminine traits.
Mm.
Femininity. Like we have a balance. I believe everybody has a balance. You have to have a balance. Polarity makes a human. So, like when you're talking about that respect, like J. Jones said, man, that's the big part of it. It's that respect. You got to respect the logic behind another man, the logic, the mind. That's why the comfort comes in that masculine presence. Sometimes when they're using logic like even though your logic isn't my logic, I can respect your logic because you have your own experiences that cultivate that. And I think that's something that we gotta be sure to hone into if we're talking about tapping into that true masculinity, that good, positive, beneficial masculinity.
I like that. I like that a lot, especially the word logic. I think that's one that definitely comes up for me a lot when we talk about masculinity. I know personally, probably at the risk of being what is it, misogynistic or something, but I've always kind of had a perception that men have more logic or use logic more than women do, which may not be true. Honestly, it's not something I want to hold to. I don't think that it's always true. There are plenty of women who use logic, right? But when it comes down to a lot of times we're trying to separate emotional thinking from logic-based thinking. And we're calling that masculine versus feminine, right? So a lot of it, like I say, it's kind of social constructs, man. It really is like Drill, no, I'm the dictionary over here, right? I love words. I'm always looking up words and stuff, right? And when we asked that question this morning, first thing I did was just look up the definition. And it's physical, a lot of it, right? We're talking about like one of the first things that popped up was like literally just saying you have muscles, right? You like a chiseled dude, you got muscles. Um, sure, that could be a very masculine look because if we see a woman that's very buff and things like that, we might not think that she's necessarily soft, feminine looking like a woman. So I think a lot of it kind of comes from what we draw with just physical characteristics, right? We see big 6'4" dude go chop down a tree, build a house, whatever it is, what you got to do, be a man, right? We see the 5'3" woman cook or take care of the kids, like, whatever it is. It doesn't mean that everybody has to fit into that though. So,
I think that femininity though, let's not act like that's weak though. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
like it ain't weak though. That motion that is dominated because the woman has a natural gift to be a little more emotionally aware, conscious. Like if you walk into a room during a business meeting, you want to bring a woman with you so you can find out who the snakes in the room. Cause she gonna
Mm-hmm.
feel that before you do because you more logical. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
X plus Z and then moves to this and it's like okay, like that makes sense. Okay, let's go ahead and do the deal. And she like, hold up, like nah, something ain't right. And you gotta be able to trust that. That's why we gotta keep our mamas close, keep our girls close, keep our daughters close, whoever women we got in our life because they have that intuitive nature to them. It's a little more vast than ours, man. That's why like
Uh,
they go ahead.
no, I was saying that's that balance. Yeah, that's a
That
great balance
balance.
in between the
Mm-hmm.
partnership, the relationship. That's a great balance.
Hmm. We need that, man. We need that. Like that's why, like when you said that, I think it's important that you have both present. If you got, you talking about masculinity. If a woman in a situation is more masculine, like my has a lot of masculine traits. She's a very goal oriented, task oriented. She goes and takes care of business. She knows how to do this, and this. But I know she does have that emotional side that's a lot more tapped into mine, man. It's like I try to be a how should I say it, a student of that, man. Like I try to soak up that game as far as the emotions because that's the creativity. That's that space where we make music, we create art, we get out of our concrete thinking, that task addiction. Because we as men we can do that. We can get addicted to task.
That's dope that you said music, because think about a lot of artists, bro. Artists, we usually call artists kind of feminine in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not necessarily the rappers that we have, not trap rappers and stuff like that, but the first thing that popped to mind was Prince, one of the
Yeah.
best artists of all time, right?
Boy.
And I would definitely say more feminine than masculine, but
Blouses.
But he gets
right,
the
game blouses.
Gay blouses. Boy.
Uh-huh.
well, it goes back to what you and I think Jarrell brought it up. Prince gets a lot of respect for what he does. Like, all the jokes aside, everybody talks about the perception of how he looks.
Mm.
They always tell you about his voice and how his creativity and how, demanding he was about his product. So
Respect.
two things I want to ask y'all. I know we gotta go to another topic, but this is the last thing. I was reading that, especially since the '60s, that we equate two major topics to masculinity. That's sexuality and monetary value.
Mm.
Hmm.
Like if you don't have money, and you hear it in our songs too, but you don't have no money, I don't respect you as a man. And if you ain't, just moving the boats around in the bedroom, then you ain't a man either. Like that's the two qualities that kind of get shopped out as if these are the qualities you want to see in a man. Like how do y'all feel about that? Like it's in our music, it's in advertising, it's in everything. Like
It's the easy one. That's the physical, right? That's what's easy to say, dude. you should be able to do something physical or go and be the provider, right? And that's why I referenced the animal side of it, because again, total inverse of it, right? Is I don't know that that's necessarily getting away from nature or anything like that. I'm not going to get into that, but we try to force everybody into one box, right? We try to say you have to go and do this to be a man. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but like the other question is, how do you know that you're a man, right?
Mhm.
Just because you make a lot of money, that doesn't necessarily make you a man. Just because you're good in the bedroom doesn't make you a man, right? So,
Yeah, that's some low frequency stuff right there, man. That's that low frequency because
mhm.
how can we say that this is a world that needs balance and we sitting here trying to say that you define by your money? It's like if you define a man by his money, then that means a man with no money can never be rich. But what will happen to the soul component? Like, what about what's sitting inside of that man? Because the money's only a reciprocation for your value of who you are. Like, people pay you; they should be paying you for what you bring into their life. This like the service, and I think that's a message that we need to get out more because the that's just that's that toxic masculinity I was speaking on. That's exactly what that is. That's that like you said, everything has to be physical. It has to be physical. It has to be money wise, and it has to be something that everybody socially accepts. Like it's like this is a man right here. This is a man's man. But it's
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying? It's a man's man, but it's like how can you say that's a man's man? You don't even know what that man does out in this world that you never can measure. You can't measure everything this man does. Like, um, that's crazy though. Uh, but I've been there though. I've been in those conversations. I mean, you hear those conversations like in the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? You hear those conversations, over drinks with the partners. The jokes that get made, things like that. But I think it's important that we kind of ditch that so we can be able to really tap in as real men. If we want to say we real men and really be balanced and whole, it ain't just about no bread or no sex. I mean that's some animalistic type
yeah, it is.
barbarian beast. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like
I'm gonna put the
expand.
word leadership on it, bro.
Oh, I was
Honestly,
about to
I
say
think
that.
leadership is a big part of it. And on a real, I kind of thought about that. We were watching that show, The Crown, on Netflix earlier, and spoiler alert, I don't know if y'all watched it or not, but it was a episode. They had a accident in Wales or something, like a coal mine accident, and the Queen was very reluctant to go over and be a part of, condoling the people and everything like that, on the sense of that's not what tradition is, right? Her husband on the other side went, and I think it was like the Duke of Edinburgh, I think is what his title is, right? So he goes and he came back kind of shaking from it, right? And she asked him, like, did you weep? That was her question to him. And he kind of looked at her like, why did you ask me that? Like, what does it matter if I did or not?
Yeah,
And he went on and answered. He says, not only did I weep, that broke me into 1,000 pieces. Anybody who would have been there, that would have broke you into 1,000 pieces, right? And to me, that was leadership, because giving y'all the whole episode, that forced her to go in and kind of be like, okay, I am the queen. Let me go and condole my people, things like that. That's leadership to me, though, right?
yep. Putting your heart out there. Putting your heart out there. That's when you build that trust. That's when you
Mm-hmm.
build that trust. When you show your transparency, especially to
Transparent.
yeah, especially to your woman, man. Your woman not gonna trust you till you show that transparency. You know what I'm saying? That's when she knows she can trust you. That's when anybody know they can trust you. Any group that follows you, if you leader anything, that's the hallmark of it. So I'm with that. I'm with that.
What
But
was the second part? Did we answer the second part?
what?
Uh, it was. Uh, can you describe your transition from a boy to a man? Like, it was there a certain period, a certain season, something that you learned? Was it something that was like, you know what? I'm not a boy no more. I put away childish things. I'm a man now. Like, I'm taking the responsibility of actually being a man, standing on my own 2 feet. Is there something that stands out in your past, your history that said, uh, I've made a transition, or y'all feel like y'all are men right now? I mean, some men are still in boy stages.
What you think, J.Jones? I want J.Jones to go because I got something to say about what he says. Whatever he says, I got something to say about that. What you think, J.Jones?
Oh,
I got something to say.
I think a lot of mine just like when I knew I was a man. You get a certain feeling of protection around, especially women, but the people you're around, you kind of feel like you're supposed to lead and protect, and you kind of have a feeling that you just get. You wake up and you feel it. And another thing is, it's bad. It's kind of bad. It's a bad quality, I should say, but it's hard to ask when I just like when I felt like I was a man is when I was like I can deal with it, I can fix it, I can do everything. I don't want to ask for help. I got this. Don't worry about it. I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? And I had to kind of graduate from that. I had to like grow up because I had to. That's a man quality, but we need not to be like that because that just builds more stress. That builds, when you do everything by yourself, it kind of hurts you at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, mine's more the protection I felt over my sister, just any woman in my family, really anybody in my family. Paying phone bills, paying stuff off, or taking girls out, paying everything. But also that I got this. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I ain't a boy. Don't worry about me. So that was my thing.
Okay,
What's up,
okay.
Terry?
Well, the reason why I said I wanted to piggyback off of that is because it's funny that Dmarques brought that up because I remember when I was at Hard Simmons and during that time I was very, very how I put it, man, eccentric, man. I was out there. I was just real wild in regards to like my funds, in regards to my
Oh,
management of my time, just a lot of things. I didn't really have a structure, and I remember like I remember I used to talk to Jarrell sometimes. I used to be like, "Bro, what you about to do?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you got going on this weekend? And he'd be like, "I ain't doing nothing." And I'd be like, "Okay." I'd be like, "Brother, we should do this and this and this." And he'd be like, I'm gonna sit on my couch, and I'd be like, all right. And I remember I used to try to pick his brain and be like, why don't you do nothing? And then he broke it down to me financially why he felt like he didn't need to go out. And I think that was one of those times in my life where he was probably one of the only people, he don't know it, bro, but he was one of the only people I knew that was really thinking like that in my circle. That was really thinking about, financially the plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I about to do with my money? What am I gonna do with my time to keep myself out of situations I don't need to be in? And when I think about the transition from a boy to a man, I think it has nothing to do with age. Again, I think it has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with maturation. And I think we all mature at different speeds. You could be a 45-year-old boy, I believe. I don't think that maturation, because sometimes certain needs don't get met. You don't really get that guidance. You don't get in those circles. You just don't mature. You still have boyish ways. And we're talking about man. I heard it explained one time is man is like the root of manager. So a manager, he's in charge of men. He leads the men. So a man is a leader of self. Like, so if you're unable to lead yourself, then you are not a man. And if you need somebody else to lead you, then you can't call yourself a man. You are a boy. If you need to be taken care of and you need to be guided all the time, you are still a boy. And that's a realization that, and when I came to that realization, that's when I was like, okay, that's when I'm aiming to get to that point, because to be honest with y'all, I'm still in that process. I'm not even gonna sit here and say like, oh, I'm all the way a man's man or nothing like that, because I know there's ways about me and I'm still trying to kick habits. I'm still trying to kick so I can become, more the man that my family needs, because I believe that we want to be able to protect and provide. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why I had to bring that up, because I know that was something that fun. Hey, Dmarques, I don't know what y'all didn't learn or what you didn't, what gave you the spit, but man, I remember that was something like J.Jones. He would never spend reckless amounts of money with me. Like, he would never go. I'd be like, Jay, you ain't trying to do it. Like, nah, I'm good. And I was like, I guess I'll penny pinch this weekend. I guess.
Man, he been like that too.
Yeah.
Boy, what?
Amazing
I
about
blew money every day in college.
Yeah, Nate. Yeah, Nate.
Ain't nothing
Nate
wrong
was
if you got it, but
there's one thing that was and everybody knows Joe on a personal tip. So it's one thing that was amazing about him, watching him grow up behind me. Uh, I took on a lot of responsibilities that I probably wasn't even ready for, but I just took them on because I was just like, ain't nobody else gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So he got to watch me fall and falter, and probably still watching me fall and falter. But that's one thing that's great about him is that he doesn't have to experience it to learn from it. So Gerald, he went to college, did his thing, whatever. Then I had my own place, and I'm like, you can do whatever. He had a key to my apartment. You can do whatever. He's like, you know what, bro? I just want to chill, man. I don't even want to do nothing. I'm not even gonna tell anybody I'm here. I just want to chill. Like I don't understand this whole partying thing. I said, you caught it a whole lot faster than me because I was a strip club king. I was going
It's going up.
on everything. And I got to a point I was like, so I'm gonna go spend 50 to 200, 300, whatever. I'm gonna go spend all this money for a day. Really don't even enjoy myself, and what?
That's it.
People can say that we was at the same place at the same time, and then hell, in my circles, sometimes I was paying for the next person. I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah.
It's fun for a day though.
Fun for a
Every
day.
blue moon, I come up. I come from under the rock. Every blue moon.
Patrick,
It's
come up out
balance,
of
bro. You gotta have balance.
Yeah. And I think, and one more thing before saying we go into something else. When you talk about Dmarques, like I know I was listening to I was actually in a training. It was for English language arts. It was like a literacy training that they did for our job, and they were talking about strategies to raise a child or bring a student up in literacy, or just ways to help kids. And they said the thing about control, like the rule of control, is like parents that or leaders or whoever is in charge of kids, when they put a strong hold on their surroundings and they give that person no freedom, then they grow up wanting freedom. Like they just yearn for freedom. But when you give them that freedom of choice, or at least a facade of it, and they feel like they can, do whatever, then it actually lets them let go of that want to just do whatever. It's just like, oh well, maybe I'm doing what I want to do right now. And I think J.Jones, you explained it to me before, is like you never felt like you had like a strong hold on you at no situation like that. So maybe that helped like with your development, because they talk about that a lot. Like the more you put, like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, and the more they're gonna fight and try to get more control back. You know what I'm saying? Because they have none.
My
In the
my
inverse.
dad, my dad used to say, "Call me and tell me where you're going." That was the rule.
That's it.
I had no curfew. I had no nothing. It was like I get home at 5 in the morning, stumble to the room. He'd be like, "You have fun?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm." Go to bed.
In the bed. In the bed.
That's real though, man. I definitely agree with that because I still had a curfew, but my mom's was kind of the same way. Like, go live your life. And my mom told me straight up. I think I was 15. She said, "I ain't taking you to the doctor, and I ain't being a grandma."
That's it.
That's
Okay,
big rule.
But that puts
she still ain't a grandma.
the responsibility on you at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
This choice is going to affect you and your life. You make it and you live with it.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful. That's powerful to be able to make those choices. And when you make a mistake and it was all you, did nobody push you into that? That was you. That was you. Sit down with it. Made your bed, you lay in it. But
That's it.
man, let's segue though. Let's segue to this topic right here though that Nate had on here talking about that life planning. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Life guy, the life
Man.
guy. We need to hear about that.
Well, so I'm gonna bring it back to what we started with, just talking about COVID. That's really where I got the original topic from, like talking about having life insurance and things like that, like actually planning the more serious events in life. One, condolences to the family. My brother-in-law's mother just recently passed away. So Miss Kim, rest in peace. But that was another wake-up call, honestly, for me. I think for him as well. We were talking about that yesterday. It's important, bro. Like, have a will, have things planned, and have things set up. And it's something I've known. Again, my mom did such a good job with raising us. That was, again, like 15, 16 years old. She gave me her power of attorney, told me, like, this is what's going to happen in the event of, you never know. You can not make it through the night, right? So you never know. Just having that in my mind, it's like, now I can look back and say, I probably didn't do a good job of planning, right? I didn't really do a good job of setting up things to be taken care of in the event of, right? but you got time hopefully to do that. And so that's just one that I wanted to share, on having a plan. You really never know what's going to go on. Even, when my grandfather passed, it wasn't even a bad situation, but we had to go and do a court appearance just to verify literally that my dad and my uncle were my grandfather's only two kids, and that me and my cousin are his only two remaining grandchildren, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the moment, it was like, man, how crazy could this be? Right? We talking about getting my grandfather's estate, which it wasn't, anything crazy. But what if you just lose all of that because you're not prepared? What if somebody off the street come in and can prove something that you don't know
Mm.
because things weren't set up, right?
Yeah.
I think it's about just taking the precautions on that side. But the other side, like life planning, setting your life the way that you want it to look, right? What Jarrell is talking about, not going out and doing the extra, not being on the scene all the time. Set yourself up for the financial freedom that you want to have. Set yourself up to be around the people that you want to be in the circles that you want to be in. You have to move accordingly to that, man. I think a lot of people have dreams for life, and dreams without action, you just sleep, right?
You sleep, and then you
Sleep.
don't never want to get in that position where you pass early, and now your family members is fighting over your belongings. They fighting over your money. They fighting, you know what I'm saying? Or you get somebody you love that you care about, and y'all don't have a plan for that person, and then now it's like, man, you got to come out all this money for funeral arrangements and things like that. And I've seen that a lot. So she works in title, and she talks about it all the time. How families come in and they literally it gets ugly, like almost ready to throw blows behind the wheel. You know what I'm saying? The money that wasn't really designated, it wasn't really supposed to go here or there, maybe a property. So it's like, man, I have been thinking about that a lot, man. And I think COVID has definitely shined a light on that aspect of things because, like, we never know, man, and you don't never want to get caught in that position with your pants down, for lack of better terms.
Straight up,
Hey, I know he's hey, for real though, you don't want to get
straight
caught
up.
Oh
up.
man.
Man, like, I wish.
There was a statement in I think it was in Black Panther where it said a man that doesn't prepare his family for his death uh, fails his family in life or something like that. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot exactly how they worded it, but it was when Black Panther's father passed away or whatever. But he was telling him he had already set him up with all the tools to be next king and all that stuff. Like they were saying, like for a man that doesn't prepare a family for his death fails his family in the long run. Like that's really true. Like that's one of the things about man masculinity, like standing on your own 2 feet, being a leader, and foreseeing the big picture instead of like even go back to the story with Gerald, like see the big picture instead of the little small picture where you just have fun for a day. Like I got to make sure that y'all keep going and progressing in the right direction, even if I'm not here. So
y'all
Yeah,
might take
you
my
dead
black
on with
card.
that.
Y'all might take my black card though, real quick. I still ain't seen Black Panther.
Well, I'm gonna give you the quote that he was talking about. I just pulled it
Let
up
me
for you.
get that. Let me get that.
It was from King T'Chaka. This was in the scene where you need to go watch the movie for one, Gary. But this is the scene where he's talking to his father post mortem, and King T'Chaka tells him, "A man who has not prepared his children for his own death has failed as a father. Have
Mm.
I ever failed you?" That was his question to him. And his son responded, never. Right. And that was kind of in the movie, you will see that was his like kick of saying, okay, I can do this. I am actually ready. Because there's doubt sometimes on that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's I mean, it's hard to. Nobody wants to think about death, and then especially being our age, you like 30, 40, 50. You just, I mean, even before COVID, talk about COVID before COVID, man, death is
Yeah.
everywhere. I mean, you get in the car, you could not get out of the bed in the morning.
yeah.
You just never know, man.
we have examples of both of that. And I know me and Gerald know examples of both of that. We know a person that literally didn't get out of their bed, and we know a person that drove home from work or going to work in their car at a very young age and
Hmm.
not here.
Yeah, it just
Mhm.
so I mean, like y'all all said, man, you try to set your people up to kill. I mean, we go back to mental health and stress and all that. That's all that stuff and fighting over stuff and then splitting the family in half. That's stressful. That's hard, So if you write what you who you want to have whatever, that's that. That's law.
Yeah.
I want you to get this. I want you to get this. If y'all fight over that, that's y'all. But I did my part. And then the second part, planning, just planning life, Nate. At a young age, I mean, not young, at any age, really, you can start at any age, but man, put $10 in the drawer, or like I was saying earlier, these New Year's resolutions, man, stop making plans and not doing it, man.
Right.
If you say I'm gonna start doing stocks this year, put $10 in the drawer, put $10 in your savings every month, and buy a stock at the end of the year, or a stock at the middle of the year, man. If no, I'm not talking
I feel
you.
attacked, J.
You have
Jones.
no
I feel
money.
attacked.
No, but if
I
you say
feel
you go,
attacked, brother. Hold
if
up.
you say if you
Tell me
go
how you
if you
feel.
say if you say you're gonna start a business, man, hey, write a business plan. Stop writing the stuff down and just putting it in a book and then throwing it to the side, man. Hey, put it to action, man. It's I'm tired. I hear a
Yeah.
lot of people make New Year's resolutions, and I don't even know why people do it. It's like, why do you do it if you're not gonna do it? Why
Exactly.
you write
Why
it
does
down?
it take you that one day to say, okay, now I'm
Now I'm
motivated
gonna
to
do
do
it, and then they still don't do it. It's like they do it for 2 weeks of January,
it?
and by February they just living life. It's like, hey man, write
Because it
write it
sounds
down,
good,
look at it
man.
every day, meditate with it,
Stuff
do stuff.
sounds good, but action is hard, bro. Action is very hard.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Consistent action is hard. Then I say that because
That's not either.
What
what?
is it, old man? How we make it easy?
Talk
This
to us,
hard for
man.
me, man. Talk to me, man.
No, no, no. It's the transition from putting the words into action.
Mm.
Once you get the word down, you know what the action is. Once you start the action, you got it. It's just that transition from the actual word, whether it's the spoken word or the written word, the transitioning that from the visual to the action seems like the hardest part of people. But everybody will tell you the hardest thing to do is to
Start.
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 You
Do
Yeah.
do research an app if you want to do stocks. Research. There's plenty of apps out here. There's Acorn. It's Robinhood. It's Fidelity.
can copy.
Research.
Y'all need a link on Robinhood. Holler at your boy. I get you a free stock.
Get you a free here. Get you a free
I,
stock. But look,
I thought that
I'm
was
just
everybody,
saying.
Nate. I thought everybody got that.
If
Yeah, yeah, we both do. If you sign up with my link, we'll both get a free stock.
I'm just saying,
Let
man,
me know.
is do your research and then it's really like Dmarques said. If you have $2, you can buy a 10-cent stock, and that'll be a start. And
If
when you start and when you learn, you might like it and you might make some money.
if you got $2, you can get stock in Amazon.
Exactly. You can do fractional shares now.
You can do
Ain't nothing
fractions.
stopping.
You can actually put money into Acorn and copy Acorn with some real money and put it in another account and
Mhm.
learn it that way.
And I'm
Digital
just saying,
currency. Digital currency going crazy though. That's
Yeah,
Hey,
that's because it's
Bitcoin is the future.
care,
what you say?
care,
Bitcoin might be the future for a little while till the Feds take over.
Till the feds take over.
I ain't say that.
care.
I didn't say that.
I'm listening. What's up?
I ain't look, the SEC be
Money,
listening, bro. I ain't.
They
money and
do.
currency is not real, man. We print it every day. If I can cash app you $50 right now,
Yeah.
you will have $50.
Yeah. That's true.
Not real. Like they print it every single. They destroy it every day too.
Yep. Yep.
The
Yep.
value that we place on it.
Man, and I kind of want to go back to what y'all talking about with the what I got from what Jarrell was saying, like starting something, you started, you finish it. It's just that executing piece, man. It's like when we talking about life planning. I think what a quote that changed my life I heard from Dame Dash probably about a year ago was he said every day, Dame Dash reckless, but he said every day he put some cuss words in the mix. We don't cuss on the podcast, but every day he said I start something and he said I make sure that I finish something else. So he broke it in half. He said every day I start one thing and I finish something else, and that's what makes me a boss. Like he's like that's why I'm able to lead the life that I want to live. That's why I don't have nobody I answer to, is because I always start something and finish something else. And I guess a lot of different people say it a lot of different ways, but it comes down to that execution, man. It's just like if you don't execute on things, especially when you're talking about a plan for your life, you can write out whatever you want to write out now. You can literally have pages and pages of plans. Like I know some people they color code it all and they put stars by certain things, and it's good. Like I encourage writing goals, but if you writing goals, you write down like 15, 20 goals and you really gonna go hit like two, then it's like, what are you doing? Like you're not an
Right too.
executor. Yeah, it's like you're not living it. You're not living that life. And I think that's something I constantly try to think about ways to find out to do better. Like I got to find more ways to be a better executor. It's like I try to stay consistent with whatever I'm doing. I try to keep accountability partners. I try to keep men and women in my circle that will hold me accountable. Like once I start slacking, I'm gonna hear something. And if my people not gonna say nothing to me, you're not my people. Like you're not really, you don't love me like you don't love me like you say you do. Not if you're not gonna hold me accountable. Like if J. Jones see me not posting the podcast like I'm supposed to, and he don't say nothing, then I'm gonna be like, man, like J. Jones, he let me down because I need that. Like we need each other. We need a good circle. Like we need strong people in our circle to help us out because you don't always feel like $1 million, man. I know I'm somebody that just I don't really understand self-care very well. Like I don't understand the concept. Like I be like running on no sleep, and then I be trying to give out too much to people. And I think it's important that you got to find a balance and just have just a good environment, a good space.
Can't give from an empty cup, bro.
No, you can't. No, you can't. I keep trying to tell myself that, but it's man, I'm a hard head, brother. I'm a hard head.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this dude.
That's
That's
what,
one.
J. Jones. That's what.
That's one.
That's what. That's what.
Hey,
But no, man. I
I don't know.
heard some. I, go ahead.
I just thought about this. This is why you were saying it, but uh, completion combats fear.
Mm.
Fear will keep you from completing stuff.
hmm
And we are taught fear. We live by fear. We die with fear. But completion will actually combats fear because just like you were saying about with Dame Dash, like I finished something. Once it's finished, it's done. I've completed it. I'm good with it. I can move on to the next one. Guess what? It's going to be easier to move on to the next one and complete that because then I get a mindset that I have to finish. I have to complete. And, fear will keep you in the seat worrying about what's going to happen. But a person with that mindset is like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But I got to go do this. I got to go complete this. I got to go finish this.
You know
Yeah.
how you get out of the fear, bro? You look at things as you gotta be in the same spot that you were before you started.
Yep.
That's really it.
Yeah.
Like it clicked in me. Like one day, Drill, you might know who I'm talking about. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a time in college, I seen one of the most attractive young women we had at Charleston State. And she was new. And I was like, hey, well, I feel that we should talk. I feel that I should go and introduce myself, right? And in my head, I was like, dang, bro, what if she out your lead? What if you don't pull? Like all of that, right? You have doubts. And I said, well, I didn't even know who she was yesterday. So what does it matter? As simple as that. Fear, like you say, is gonna hold you back, but it's not real. You're gonna be in the same
Not
spot.
real.
You're gonna be the same thing you were. Just because you gotta know, just because something didn't work out, you the same you. And that means you just learned something. That means you had another experience and it's something for you to build off of.
Yes, sir.
You gotta use it the right way, right? That's the thing I teach in my class actually, is changing your stress, right? A lot of things, fear is a form of distress, right? And you have to switch into having eustress, EU stress, which is a positive stress, something that you can actually function off of.
Not for real. Man,
Mhm.
we all paused. We had to think
That's
about
the
that.
false evidence appearing real. That's the
Yeah.
acronym that I was taught. And
Yeah.
you talking about that once that stress, you start to stress yourself over stuff that you fear. Now you almost delusional. Like you almost a crazy person because now there's these ghosts that you're running from. Like he's like you did like what are you really afraid of? Like
Man,
who put this in your head? Where'd you get this from? This isn't yours because you have no experience with this.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what I think about with that, man. But
and I always think, man, we made in who image?
yeah,
What do we have to fear?
hey man,
Exactly.
yeah, that's big facts. That's big facts. That's big facts. That's big
I
facts.
mean,
I used to tell a little bro this all the time. I know you remember, but I heard it or read it somewhere. But it was like, if God came to you here in the flesh, if He came to you in the room and said, "You can do whatever you want to do," I guarantee you'll complete or you'll get it or whatever, right? What would you do in life? And everybody's like, "I'll be doing this, I'll be doing that, I'll be doing this." So why don't you? It make you think like, oh,
Huh. That's a good
Yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah. You know, I think we always forget, man. We always forget. We from the kingdom, man. This is our dominion. We here to do great things. God has His favor on us, and I think sometimes we get so lost in the hustle and bustle and the movement that we forget that. And that's why I think that stuff like this, when we come on the platform and we able to, like we always say, be a light, be able to try to transcend and be able to send a message to people that's in a dark place, that don't really have that light. It's because they are basically ignoring it. Like you ignoring your greatness, like you ignoring who you really can become because of your unique gifts. Nobody else has those, and you got to be able to tap into that. At any given time, you just got to be able to drop where you at and then go and elevate. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can do it because you are that supreme. You are. And then, so my new segment, cap or no cap. My new segment, cap or no cap. Man, this is something I'm gonna hit somebody in
you don't
the
need a cap.
in
You
the
don't need a
fields.
cap.
I don't. Hey,
You don't need a cap, Dmarques. He been Dmarques.
oh, nah, you don't need a cap, Marcus. All right, but oh, the first cap or no cap, as y'all know, you know what I'm saying. If it's lie, it's gonna be cap. If there's no cap, you know what I'm saying, then you think it's true. So cap or no cap, Jarrell was the best football player on this call. Cap or no cap? I'm gonna go ahead and start with Nate.
We've been playing with cuz since we was 6 years old, and I'm gonna say no cap, honestly. I'm gonna say no cap because look, when we say best football player, let me tell you, this boy ain't follow no rules. He ain't take no steps. I don't know if he even knew to play sometimes. I ain't never want nobody else by my side blocking next to me, dog.
Yeah.
Trusting him, man.
Okay.
I didn't see he was always undersized, especially in college, bro.
Oh
And
God.
I didn't see him go out there and handle some boys. I didn't see him do his thing, man. So
Okay. Hey, Mr. Lipton, go. Big brother. My big brother. Cap or no cap?
you sleep?
You trying to let it out, man. That's how you know. That's how you know. You don't even want to say it. You don't even wanna say it.
me and Gerald are two different classes. You seen me play, I seen him play. My ego is gonna get the best of me.
That's why I said it. That's why I did this. I did this.
My ego gonna get the best of me. Gerald's bigger than I was. But we always said we would have loved to play together, but we don't do a whole lot of playing against each other.
Man, you gonna let us know or not, man? Is it cap or no cap, man?
Oh shit. No cap.
All right, look.
Go.
Look. Tell y'all the truth. Y'all ain't seen Kerry play.
I'm going to say
it's an unfair question. It's an unfair question. But to me, Nate just was unhealthy. Look, he got hurt.
Yeah.
I think it's cap. I personally think Nate healthy, you healthy. I think all y'all healthy because Dmarques even had ankle problems.
Ah, this dude. Here we go. Humble pie guy. The humble pie guy.
No, no,
Hey,
no,
no.
no, for real. Nate healthy was a beast. Like Nate just got it. Just the beast is the name. It's football. Nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Nate just was unhealthy. I was the Emmitt Smith of the crew. I should say. I was
Yeah.
available. I was never hurt.
Hey man. Hey man. You finished. You saw
I
the
said this
top of the
way.
mountain.
The most fun I ever had as an O-lineman was playing between Jarrell and my boy Juice.
Oh, Juice. We need to get this on one
I
time.
seen Juice play.
Juice is
Ooh,
Big.
talk about strong. Man, Juice made my job so easy.
if he get his hands on you,
Cornbread fed.
you gotta see Juice. You gotta see Juice.
Okay, but to go back to Kerry, when you, I don't want to over brag, but I know you were good in college at running back, right?
Yeah, but I finished D3, so Jarrell wins. So it's no cap.
No. You
No
started
cap.
D1. Even though we both had the same offers. Look, we both had the same offers, but I had academics. You didn't. With academics, you probably go to U of H.
Nah, we both pretty good football players. I just did that just to get Dmarques to kind of sweat a little bit. So that's why I solely did that for the shock value for Dmarques. I know he was hurting over there. I didn't want to let that out. But this one though, all right, here we go. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are about to win the Super Bowl.
Help!
Whoa!
Kaepernick.
Whoa, Nate. Whoa, why so quick though?
Cause I don't want it to happen, honestly. Cause I don't want it to happen.
Respect.
But because
y'all was quick on the trigger there. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I was about to say he pulled that thing.
Yeah.
Quick draw. Hey, why?
Patrick Mahomes, man.
Mahomes, my homie.
Y'all, what you think? What you think, Mr. Lip and Go?
I think you give it up too easy. Like, don't get me wrong. Mahomes is the young goat versus the old goat, like a lot of people been saying, but I don't know.
3 interceptions in the championship game.
All right, still won.
Man, I'm tired of hearing that, man. Look, that was cap, man. That was cap. That statement was cap. I said that. That was bait. Tom Brady.
Did you hear his teammate? They said they weren't gonna let him go out like that. Like,
man, they love
exactly his teammates.
That's a leader. That's a leader.
The whole thing about
coach. 3 picks. Come on.
3 picks. Come on. No, that's kind of like defense. Come on. Defense. Come on.
Hey.
I just want to know how much Tom Brady paid Kevin King. That's all. I want to know how much Kevin King got paid for that.
Kevin King couldn't cover me. Running a pedestrian 5'2".
Kevin King could definitely cover you. Why?
Nah, Jarrell got a crispy slant roll.
And on that note, man, it's been a great podcast. Oh man, it's been a special.
Sorry, Kevin King.
Sorry, Kevin King. Shout out to Kevin King. I appreciate y'all brothers tapping in with us though. It's always a good time with y'all too. We had to bring y'all back, man. Y'all some personal favorites. I always had some enlightening conversation with y'all two brothers. But here you go, Sean. All right, it's time to go. All right, so y'all brothers, y'all be safe, man. Be a light, and we out.
All right.
Yes, sir. Y'all be cool.
Yes, sir.